control win the maps, the sub map, I guess you can say, 66% of the time.
Yeah, I mean, we see how impactful it is to get that first team fight win. You generally walk away with the ultimate advantage and kind of snowball from there. Also, a lot of teams on their retake positioning, it's a little bit more difficult, right? Defense is much more easy to coordinate than an offense.
Luckily for Toronto, though, I mean, this map is going to be a lot different than Nabani. There's a lot of different angles you can hit from, a lot of different positioning you can hit from, hopefully, for them. I see your face.
Oh.
I see your PogChamp face. And I kind of wanted to continue to see it, as we did have Onigod hovering over on Orisa, which we did see LG Evil being basically the first team to ever use her, especially on this point. But we're not going to see it, unfortunately, here.
That's a shame. So it looks like it is going to be mirrored compositions coming out from both sides. We've got the Winstons, the Divas, the Tracers, and the 76s right now. It's Toronto Esports on the high ground, while LG Evil are spread out, trying to look for an opening to get on top of Toronto.
No Genjis, actually. I'm a little bit kind of disappointed. Maybe Jaro's not feeling too confident as Genji. Obviously, Soldier on this point is extremely strong because of the distance you can play from. The whole reset mechanic and the whole power and fear that a good Genji can bring into a team is never underestimated.
Yeah, one of the really telling things here is that Toronto Esports are playing so tentatively. You saw them, that they were all 6 huddled up in that corner, and it was LG Evil who took the initiative on them. We're just able to win out that team fight without losing anybody.
Yeah, Toronto, they gave up the initial high ground, and then when you can kind of hammer down away from that position. I mean, we're talking about that being a cerebral team and how smart Jake is in general as a player and as a person. He probably knew, all right, well, the defense matrix is gone. They have nothing left of this. We'll just rush in and pick up these initial kills and hit that focus, call out those targets we need to finish off. And now Toronto, they're going to pretty much exactly the same initial fight that we just had happen, with the difference being Lowell and Super are on point.
Yeah, they're going to push forward with that. The Winston dropped down about half HP. The Orbit Discord doing a lot of work. Snow will be able to finish off that kill onto him, but Avast immediately answers on back. Sound Barrier comes out from LG Evil as they continue their aggression. They are starting to fall back onto the point, as we do have Vol dropping low on that Diva, but during all that, take a look at the kills coming in for LG Evil.
Well, importantly is that you can see Jake did get the kill on Jaro, that 1v1, which is huge. It was crucial to actually deny away a lot of positioning, a lot of damage that Jaro could do here from columns or from pillars, but now we have to kind of think about ultimates. Soundbear was used out of Avast. Luda's going to have the advantage at 90%. And Onigod did use a pulse bomb in there. But Toronto Esports, they have a lot of tank ultimates to use. You know, Cynic has seemed to have been doing a lot more work than Super has. I mean, he's got 30% ahead of him in ult.
Once again, Toronto Esports making their approach. 65% on the board for LG Evil, but Rob 420 able to line up the shots onto Onigod, making it immediate 65. Rob 420, he's going to go ahead and push the button as they all push forward. Jake gets the kill onto Cynic, and that's just going to sign the retreat coming out from Toronto Esports. It's coming down to the wire now. They've got 5 ultimates ready to use for this last possible team fight.
Something I want to talk about with Super and jumping in. Just remind me about that later, Jamerson, when this map's over, because there's something really cool that we should talk about with them. We are going to potentially the final attacker. Jake has Tac Visor, which he hasn't used this entire time. Vol and both, or him and Note, do have their self-destructs, but you need to have that Diva, that damage mitigation, to prevent these soldiers from doing so much work.
Yeah, Note used it, but they were not punished off the back of it. Didn't find anything, but it's going to be Jaro with that tactical visor. He's found the kill onto Rob for 20, but he's getting hunted down by Vol. He's dropped so low. Train will finish him off. Here's the self-destruct coming out from Vol this time, and Jake is going to go ahead and use his tactical visor just to clean up. Snow goes down. We have the sound barrier, but there's only 4 members for Toronto Esports here. Luddy was able to get that boost off onto Super, but is it going to be enough, Jason?
Well, Cynic does get the kill into Avast with the kill feed all turning red. It looks like Toronto will be able to take this point back right before they were going to lose out on it. I was actually expecting maybe LG Evil to save some ultimates, because they already lost quite a few people. Why commit them unless you're 100% confident that you can take that point back? So now you have to go back to the drawing board here for LG Evil, as they have nothing really to work with so far, but neither does Toronto, to be fair. They had to commit every ultimate into that last fight just to capture that point and at least drag this one out a little bit longer.
But baseline, no ultimates on the table. We saw LG Evil winning that initial fight. Now, it's a little bit of a different situation because they are on the retake, but still, we're seeing LG Evil just win out mechanically up against Toronto Esports so far.
Yeah, you saw right there with Train versus Onigod. Onigod was forced to back away to group up with his team, which allows Super to jump back in. Rob again opens things up. Collinsman, the opener, gets a kill on Jaro this time, and these kills are all going the way of LG Evil. The points being captured. And Jamerson, I think we have our first map victory here.
Yeah, it looks like it might just go on over to LG Evil as they are starting to clean up these stragglers. Move of the week. I'm calling it now. Luddy coming in for, and that might just be the saving grace as he does use that sound barrier just to keep himself alive, but he gets focused down by Vol. That buys enough time for the rest of TO to come on in, but Pulse Bomb Cynic goes down. Train coming up huge so far, and now that's the first point for LG Evil.
Don't forget, guys, Luda is the brother of Mendoku size, so he definitely has it in his genes to make these big plays happen. And there you go. I mean, it was perfect. It was beautiful. He picked up, I think, a double kill there and almost turned things back around to Toronto. Moving into the second point, I think we have a little bit of time here to talk about what I wanted to mention with Super. So during the actual the tryouts for the USA National Overwatch team, we found out that Super actually is very vocal when it comes to calling, especially on Winston's, especially on Reinhardt's, which is obviously the two heroes he plays, right? But he likes to call targets. And the typical way that you run dive is that you let your Genji, let your Tracer set up in a position to get the engagement they want, and then they call into, all right, go, jump. And that allows them to have the freedom to push in. But instead, Super actually likes to make sure to be the person to call the targets they want to focus down. And you saw him actually waiting, being very patient, which is, I think, a little bit of an adaptation and growth within him as a player to wait for people to set up and then force the fight. I think he's actually learned quite a bit since we did see him back in the tryouts. And I think LG Evil, you know, obviously responds to it a little bit differently than we had the team that he was playing on during the tryouts.
Now we're loaded back onto Shrine here, and take a look. Jaro has swapped off. Onigod and Jaro both dropped down low, but it's Toronto Esports on the point so far. 3 seconds before it unlocks, and Super jumps on in. With the help of Jake, they will be able to clean up Cynic, and now it's going to be a 1-for-1 exchange. Both Winstons out of this equation. Yeah,
but you see the supporting kills where the Zenyatta's, the Discords, the constantly hammering away. Jake's being forced back. He's actually very low on HP, but they still have their supports alive here. And Rob, what is this man? What do they feed him? He's getting so many kills in all these fights, whether he's opening the fight or he's getting them during the fight. He's always on this kill feed. Again, picking himself up another kill, this time on the Luda, eventually falling. But this will give LG Evil the point.
Yeah, looks like he's definitely been eating his Zenyatta O's. I mean, Lucio has his own cereal. Why can't Zenyatta?
Does it tilt you that Lucio are Lucio's are Lucio O's?
Yeah, it does.
It's not Lucio's, it's Lucio O's.
Initially, when I saw that spray, I thought it said Lucy O's.
Right.
And then I had to do like a double, triple take to make sure it said Lucy O's.
But what does Zenyatta eat?
He is an Omnic. I'm not sure. Do they eat?
Power?
I'm not that deep in the lore.
Do they need to be recharged? I actually don't know. Do they run on double Duracell batteries?
I mean, how does he put on that light show? Super. Already got the kill onto Jaro. Snow going on down. And those have been like the particular targets coming up from LG Evil every single time. Snow and Jaro have been the primary targets for LG Evil.
Well, you have to think about killing his Zenyatta. It works on 2 fronts. It stops his healing, stops, 3 fronts, stops his Discord, and stops his damage. And you really can never underestimate the damage that he can do, plus a Discord orb on top. Train, he's pulling the sneak. He's actually behind the team. He's actually coming in from the high ground too, and they're all grouped up directly around him. He's just going to be looking for the jump in onto him, or at least from behind. The pulse going to come through. He's not going to land directly. The sound barrier is going to come in to counter the damage anyways.
Yeah, and LG Evil, they're going to go push forward, but Jaro has that Dragon Blade at the ready, but the Transcendence just heals that all up. Vol comes in with the double kill on that self-destruct, and it's another clean fight coming out from LG Evil.
I figured it out.
Huh?
I think Zenyatta's like Bender from Futurama.
Oh, he's just subsists off of alcohol and oil?
And oil, yeah. That's probably exactly what this man does. But, you know, looking at this, how it's going, 65%. LG Evil looking as strong as they did just on the prior map. Jake has his visor. Note does have a self-destruct, so maybe there's an opportunity to use the visor during the self-destruct if Note throws it in, but Note has to be so careful. He needs to mitigate the damage. They have to assume, but there's the self-destruct coming through. Jake hasn't popped his visor, though, so he's not going to be able to counter it out, but you can see Train behind just trying to punish him.
Yeah, Jaro was able to get the D-Mech onto Vol, and then the follow-up kill. Jaro just coming off, taking out Rob 420, so now they've got the 2-man advantage. Health bars dropping super low. There it is, Luddy will be able to pick up that kill, and looks like almost in the final hour, they were able to flip the point on over, but still, once again, LG Evil, 94%. They just need to win one team fight, Jason.
This is a sequel to the first movie of LG Evil winning on the last map. I mean, they have a Blade coming up soon. They have a Trance to at least mitigate the damage Jake does. They also have Note there to help with that. So there's no big ultimate of LG Evil that I can see to dislodge them. If Toronto can play their cards right, at least use Snow's Transcendence to mitigate maybe 2 of these ultimates. You can see again, Train He's flanking around. He's behind them again. This man is just not being spotted out with. And if he kills Snow, if he can actually force the Transcendence out before they use the visor, this is going to be huge.
Oh, Transcendence came out. The pulse bomb not quite connecting their train. Was not able to get the kill, but Avast will onto Jarl. So now it's a 6v5. They use their sound barriers. Super finds the kill onto Snow. And now the supports are running out of time. Tactical visor used by Jake. He's going to clean up Onigod as the fight continues here on the point. D-Mech, Note is out of his Diva Mecha there, and he's being forced off. Vol will clean up his counterpart, and now they are running out of bodies, are Toronto Esports.
Yeah, we're going to see the final kill come through in a second because he's going to die. You know, if you credit to Train, the way he actually distracted Snow so he didn't get the Transcendence off because he was trying to obviously monitor his HP, it allowed them to get the kill on a Jaru, which was allowing them to win that fight once they held out and waited for the Transcendence to fall, and LG Evil will be able to take it 2-0 now on Nepal. Jamerson, this is looking good for LG Evil. They're looking definitely on point here. Definitely. At the same time, okay, now let's just go this conversation, you know. And is LG Evil playing that well, or is Toronto Esports not playing that good? That's the question we always have to ask ourselves, right? Is Toronto just really struggling against LG Evil, or LG Evil just playing on a whole other level at this rate?
I don't think it's about playing good or bad. I think it's about playing with nerves, which is what's really showing out of Toronto Esports. When we were on Sanctum, did you see how passive they were every single time they backed off into that same corner and got cornered by LG Evil? Now here on, when they were on Shrine, they tried to go for that Diva engage, but even then they were really tentative, right? The Diva self-destruct, you're supposed to use that to spread out the forces of LG Evil and then dive onto a target. But after that self-destruct came out, they did nothing with it. They just stood there. It looks like the nerves are really getting to Toronto Esports here. Now we are loaded onto Village for our third point.
Now Jar going to be on the far, Snow going to be on the Mercy. You know, this is definitely in their kit here, but Snow actually already going to go down. Discord was there, Jake hit the shots, and you saw most importantly, Jake wasn't being harassed. He was just standing there. He wasn't moving, putting a lot of his focus on hitting those shots, on killing Snow as quickly as he possibly could. And with Snow dying on the Mercy, switches right to the Zenyatta, Jar switches over to the Genji. So it was a risky play. It was worth it to obviously try, but now they're being forced to switch, and now they lost a little bit of ult percent they could have had.
Yeah, so LG Evil once again with the opening volley, getting that team fight win. And you had mentioned that stat earlier on today, the team that wins the first team fight, 66% chance of winning up the entire point there. Now we do have the engage coming out from Toronto Esports. They've got a good about third of the points so far, but they did retreat off. 2 kills coming on over on the side of Toronto Esports. That's Snow and Jarl, but it's immediately answered on back, and now LG Evil once again just winning this team fight. It's been a pretty one-sided affair so far. Very
one-sided. Actually, I would assume maybe LG Evil was played maybe against bots. I don't know, maybe that's a little bit too harsh. It actually is very harsh, and I'm sorry, actually, I take that one back, Toronto. But the way Jake was playing there, I love how smart he was. He only showed himself enough to have a direct line to the target he was attacking, so he wouldn't be visible to other targets. The Discord orb, most importantly, out of Snow. So he was attacking Cynic from a different angle where the rest of Toronto could not back him up, and that's just basically free damage. You're going to take that every day of the week.
All right, so they got the D-Mech onto Vol with that Pulse Bomb, so that's pretty good as they push forward, but they don't have a Soldier 76, so it's maybe not the biggest of wins. Now, both mechs are now gone. That allowed Jake to pop his Tactical Visor, but immediately Snow uses that Transcendence. Unfortunately, he wasn't there to keep Onigod alive, and now LG Evil once again winning this team fight. They only lost Vol in this one. It's come up to 71%. It's gonna come down to the wire here for Toronto Esports. One more team fight left.
I like how Train and Onigod both focused on the Divas right away, and this is something we've seen a lot in, you know, Korean Overwatch. If you kill those Divas with pulse bombs, you get the D-suit, it allows attack visor to come through. Jake was able to use his, and it forced the Transcendence out of Snow instead. So it forces basically another ultimate that maybe Toronto didn't need to commit because of the great play out of the Tracers.
Yeah, they're gonna have 4 almost for this last team fight. Note getting closer and closer to that self-destruct as he does chase his counterpart onto the high ground. Onigod can't decide on who he wants to target down. Pulse Bomb comes out. He is going to actually get the kill onto Vol, but already Jake and Train coming in 4-2. It's a 2-for-1 exchange so far. LG Evil winning. Jaro does have that Dragon Blade. He finds the kill onto Super. Now he's trying to hunt down more. He's going to use his dash, but they will flip the point for now, giving them a little bit of a lifeline as Onigod gets the kill onto Avast, and LG Evil just retreat off. And once again, they're in that exact same position. They just need to win one team fight, and they'll walk away with the point.
That was so dirty what Onigod did. He actually pulse bombed Vol at the perfect time that Vol was desuiting to pop his self-destruct, which means Vol, well, I mean, you're throwing out your self-destruct, but the pulse bomb's still on your mech suit, and he got blown up by that. So it actually works out really well for them to prevent that resuit from coming in. So credit to Onigod there. And Jar with the blade being very patient to go for his dashes, but Train, sticking to the point, is actually going to force him to drop. At least force one person to drop, and so far no one's doing it. Don't tell me he's a free cap here. Finally someone's going to come down, but it's just Jar who's 1v2.
Yeah, that's who you don't want to go contest the point, right? Jar was supposed to go and look for the frags, and that just made Toronto Esports completely disjointed in how they want to defend this. Now they are starting to answer back. Letty was able to pick up the kill onto the boss, but Jake has that tactical visor, and with the help of Train, they are just cleaning house here, overtime ticking away, and that's going to be LG Evil with another dominant performance here, and that's going to be the second map on the board for them.
Yeah, I do take back what I said about Toronto, by the way, because they have a lot of great individual play and a lot of great skill ceilings across the team. But they're just not seeming to find what's working against LG Evil. That's the kind of the problem I'm seeing here.
Yeah, and from my perspective, just watching this game, my big question is, where is the kill potential coming out of Toronto right now? They are struggling to find it. And you asked the question
They have it.
And that's the thing. Well, and you could even see Jaru making some good blade plays there and getting a few kills. But overall, and maybe it's something to be said about like Rob